Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show, and I am excited to be joined by John Clark, who's the owner of Moxie Pest Control. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are a friend of Real Estate Essentials, one of their trusted partners, as it were.
Right.
And we've obviously spent quite a little bit of time with them, and we know that they know how to pick out the best people in the industry. So you guys must be the best in pest control.
We do a great job, yes.
I'm sure. It's this time of year that I think for many men of the household, sometimes the girls too, where we become exterminators on our own right.
Right, absolutely. Yep.
I get yelled at quite often. Bring a shoe! Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't particularly enjoy it. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's not my favorite thing to do.
Most men don't. Most men don't. That's why they hire us or hire somebody else, right, to come and do the job.
So talk to me about what this time of year brings in the way of pests and why, you know, the things that we could do so that I don't have to grab the shoe to kill things.
Absolutely. You know, this time of year, as it's getting colder outside, you've got bugs that are making their way inside the home, rodents and different things like that as well. And so the fall happens to be a big breeding time for the pests, and they're looking to make their way in and harbor in different areas. And
they're breeding? That's not good.
Yeah, a lot of them have already done that at this point. But yeah, they're looking to come inside and bring their new families inside with them and nest, so to speak. And mice are a good example of that. And so yeah, they're making their way inside, or they call it overwintering as well, where they'll actually go underneath the soil or below the freeze. Some of them, if they don't make their way inside, or hide behind bark and trees or under rocks or different places where they can kind of get away from the cold weather, so to speak.
Some of the things that we do as homeowners are not exactly real brilliant when it comes to keeping these pests away from our home.
Absolutely.
Can you give us some of the hints of things not to do?
Yeah, so starting on the outside of the home, I definitely would not stack wood piles near the foundation of the home, or big rock piles that you'll sometimes see around the home. And you want to take those and move them out away from you know, the home, so to speak, so that they're not nesting and then coming inside and have an easy entry into the home. You'd also want to seal off cracks, crevices, and different things that are you know, different ways that they can make their way inside the home from the outside. And so you can do that with expansion foam or a sealant that you can pick up from, you know, a local hardware store.
Spending a few minutes just walking around and checking out your foundation is an important part of this.
Absolutely. You know, cracks and crevices are where spiders and different bugs will make their way in there. Mice, if you can fit your pinky through the hole,
they can get in it.
They can get in the hole. Yeah.
It's like they have rubber bones. It's crazy.
It really is. And so they'll make their way in, and they'll have a heyday inside your home, just feeding off food. A lot of folks will want to, you know, as they feed their dog or their cats, they leave their pet food, you know, out and about.
In a bag is a bad idea. Get a container.
Get a container, seal it up.
Right.
Exactly. And, you know, have timed feedings. If you have a mice problem, time those feedings with your dogs or your cats. You know, dog food contains vitamin K, which can be the antidote to a lot of the, you know, the bait that we feed the mice around.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's the antidote.
Yep. So seal that up, because they can eat your bait and then run inside and eat the dog food and survive.
Now there's some telltale signs of we've got a problem, right? You maybe you don't always see it. It's not obvious. One, outside you might see the amount of dirt, new soil.
Right.
You know you've got a new problem,
that
a new
friend. That could be a gopher, or that could be a mole or a vole or something like that, right? Yep, exactly.
And those can be pretty painful. I mean, the vole infestation can be much worse than mice.
Absolutely. And that can destroy your lawn and can cost a lot of money, thousands of dollars in damage if you don't get control of that now. So, you know, a lot of times they do reproduce a lot in the fall, and so you'll want to get rid of them now. Otherwise, if you think at all that they're going to die off and go away, and you know, in the winter, that's not happening.
Yeah, they're going to be
back in full force.
Yeah.
In the spring. So you want to get rid of them now, and then you don't have to don't have to worry about them as much in the spring.
And there's safe ways to do that, which brings us to the extermination process and the things that you guys do, because this is not something you should be going and getting stuff and throwing things in holes and grabbing traps and filling things with water. This is not a good plan typically, especially if you're not trained with handling some of these chemicals and things.
You want to follow the label, right? The label is the law, and you want to follow the label. And so what the label tells you to do is what is okay to do, essentially. And we do follow the label at Moxie, and so.
Yeah, I prefer to just have somebody like yourself come and do it right.
Right, exactly. There are special containers, locked containers that you can put the bait in, keep it away from kids and pets, because it is harmful to kids and pets if they got a hold of it, and you definitely don't want to do that. And so we do have ways to seal that up and make it to where it's much safer.
Well, talk to us about, we've got just a moment or two left, talk to us about the, maybe the process. If maybe we see some remnants of some bugs, we realize that, hey, there's a little exoskeleton from something, or some other telltale sign, droppings, things like that. What is the process bringing you guys out? What do you do first, and then what's the follow-up?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll come and we'll inspect first. So we want to find those areas where they could be nesting or getting in to your home from. We can help you seal up and find those areas where the mice are coming into. Again, going around, and if you can stick your pinky into that hole, you really ought to seal it up. A place where that tends to happen a lot is just right under the garage door, on the kind of the sides of the garage door where the weather stripping is. The mice will come in, they'll chew that out, and
once they're in that garage door, they've pretty much found their way into your house.
Yeah, because then they can get into the sheetrock and then up through the walls, and the rest is history. So you'll want to seal those off, and we can certainly do that and help you find those areas and seal those off, and then we'll treat accordingly based on what we find. If we see you've got a bad ant problem or a bad spider problem or a bad mice and rat problem, we'll treat accordingly, and we use different products for those situations. And
as I always say, just like a medicine, certainly there are things about those that might scare you, but at the end of the day, you ought to be pretty scared about some of the things that can happen if you get the wrong rodent in your house or the wrong
they carry diseases,
spider. Yeah.
Right. Or they can bite and they have venom and can do harmful things there to.
So mitigate that with the other choice, which is extermination.
Great.
How do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so they can go to our website, or moxiepestcontrol.com, and they can visit us there. They can call us up, 801-255-0644. Find us on Facebook or any social media outlet for that matter.
And you guys serve the entire valley as well as up here in Park City?
Yep, Park City, Ogden to Santaquin, really out to Tooele as well. So pretty much the whole valley, yeah.
Well, as I say, no one's really immune either, are they?
No, absolutely not.
You don't have to feel bad if you've got any kind of an infestation. It can happen to anyone.
It can happen to anybody. It doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong or living in a way that is
unclean or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not about that.
No,
in fact, it's
not
usually
necessarily. It can be, but
yeah. Of course, but it can also mean that you just got a really nice house that they want to live in.
Absolutely, and it's warm, and they want a place in that's warm, because they're survivors, like you and I are, and they don't die off in the winter like many think that they do. So.
Well, we sure appreciate you coming and sharing the services that Moxie provides. Thank you so very much for being here. If you have need of pest control, well, you should get on it now. Don't wait. Get it done before we get some more snow on the ground. It's going to be a whole lot easier on you and your family. We'll be back with more.